Welcome to Envision Broadcasting, the station designed to encourage, equip, and empower you for growth and success presents The Momentum Shift. A show where we get inspired, we get moving, and we get results. Every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern with your host, Eric Collier. He's the mayor of motivation and mental quicksand expert, bringing you inspiring interviews and empowering stories that will help to improve lives. If you're ready to start making the impossible possible, then you've joined the right show, because the momentum shift is what you've been looking for.
When I look back, I think about when I was a kid. I didn't have the best childhood.
Okay.
To be honest with you, it was pretty rough.
Yeah.
And I think about where I'm at now versus where I could be if I took different paths in life.
Right.
And I just believe that, God has always watched over me and kept me on the right path, because based on what I went through, I could have easily went down a path that would have dramatically changed my life.
Ever feel like you're just missing that extra touch of warmth and comfort at the end of a long day? Or perhaps you've noticed your little one struggling to find calm before nap time. Well, we've got something special for you. Introducing the Cozies line from Century Product Design. It's the only blanket designed with your extremities in mind, ensuring a whole body hug that's simply unparalleled. Crafted from the finest microfiber fleece, Century Product Design's Cozy Throwsies for adults and Cozy Cozies for kids aren't just blankets, they're a sanctuary. Envision the soothing comfort of an adult swaddle, gently easing your mind and body into a state of tranquility. Whether it's you seeking solace after a hectic day or your child in need of a peaceful moment, Century Product Design's blankets provide more than just warmth. They embrace you in a sense of security, understanding, and the familiar love of home. With Century Product Design, they're not just designing products, they're crafting experiences that soothe your senses, touch your soul, and bring peace to your hectic world. Whether it's the comforting embrace of the Cozy Throwsy or the gentle caress of the Cozy Cozy for the little ones, they're here to make every moment at home feel like that heartfelt hug you've always wanted. Don't wait to transform your home into a heaven of warmth and tranquility. Visit Century Product Designs now to discover how Cozy's line can change the way you and your family experience comfort. Because at Century Product Design, they believe in the power of cozy embrace to make everything right in the world. Because I'm somebody who believes that the largest gap an individual will face is the gap that stands between where they are now and what they could become. So the question becomes, are you willing to climb? The greatest trick the mind will ever pull is convincing you that your greatness does not exist. Mama used to say, she said, Eric, what you do in the dark will come out in the light. And she means that you reap what you sow. You get what you put in. And so you got to put the work in. Why? Because you're going to step your game up and tap into that untapped potential of yours and become the greatest person that you can possibly become.
I woke up, I was about to lose everything. And so my wife was about to leave me, and that meant my 3 children were going to be gone, which really hurt me because I would fall short on a promise to my kids where I told them that I was their father. Nobody would ever be in their house taking care of them. Nobody would be responsible for them. They never had to worry about calling anybody daddy but me. Momentum shift. When you get stuck, you got to find a way to get going. And that is all about elevating your performance. You have to realize that high-level results are not products of low-level effort. So you got to step your game up. So you get stuck, you got to get yourself moving. And when you're down in the dumps, you're the only one that's going to be there. So you got to be your own hype man.
What happens is when you don't realize that you have all that you ever need to create the life that you want to live, you're missing out. You're standing at the base of that mountain thinking and hoping somebody's going to save you when all you got to do is take action. Theodore Roosevelt said, he said that the credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena with their face marred in dust with sweat and blood. You've got to get into the arena, claim your moment, take the opportunity to take your shot. Then when you're in that arena, think about this. I got to step my game up.
Eric's message was extremely powerful.
The power of overcoming is not just connected to you. You're rising because the people behind you are counting on you. Thank you. Thank you, Eric.
Hello and welcome to the Momentum Shift, a show designed to get you inspired, get you moving, so you can get results. I'm Eric Collier, the mayor of motivation and your host for the Momentum Shift podcast and radio show. I'm excited to have you with me today because I have somebody I want to share with you who is doing some amazing things, I believe. And I want him to share that with you as well. Every week, this show is all about unlocking potential so that you can break through the barriers and start creating momentum shifts that take you into operating in what you once believed to be impossible. So, with me today, I'm excited to introduce to you Mr. Lawrence Elrod, who is the owner of the streaming ElrodTV Network.com. He's a minority owned and operated streaming channel. He auditioned for another talk show that didn't come out with fruition. I'm sorry, I'm laughing because like you set me up for something. And I'm gonna let him talk to us about that. But like I said, I apologize for laughing at you, but I just thought you were setting me up for something with that one. But after having a taste of the talk show, Lawrence wanted to have his own talk show that was fun, interesting, and without knowing it, he learned something. His channel contains reality-based programming such as talk shows, podcasts, and arts and crafts. Matter of fact, did you have some cooking on at one point? Wasn't there someone there with cooking?
Um, Actually, I started looking at doing a cooking show. Haven't brought on yet, but I am going to have one this year.
Okay, all right, cool. Um, Lawrence started a talk show called Chase Your Dreams at the start of the pandemic, and the talk show aired on Can TV in Chicago on his YouTube channel. After 2 seasons of Chase Your Dreams, Thirsty Conversations was started. Now going into its 4th season, Lawrence started his streaming channel, Elrod TV Network, and I'm excited to have been a part of it because you guys are awesome to work with. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me bring on my guest before I start talking to him, Mr. Lawrence Elrod. Lawrence, thank you for joining me, man.
No problem. Thanks for having me on, Eric. I really appreciate it.
It's always great to be with you, man, because you're so cool, man, so laid back, and but you bring some interesting points and facts to it, and I like what you're doing. You guys have a great show. I think you're doing some great things, man. So
Thank you.
I like it. I like it. I'm always hyped up about people doing their own thing, finding their purpose, and really enjoying life. So, man, when I see you guys, man, you guys are always smiling. You're always ready to go. So,
I appreciate that, Eric. I really do.
yeah. So, uh, talk to me, man. My question is always, what does momentum shifting mean to you, and how has it changed your life?
I would say what it means to me is, you know, looking back, everyone goes through different things. And, we all try and find what is our purpose in life.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you don't figure it out till later on in life, which is okay. And I guess the way I would apply that to me in my life is that, um, I literally found out just years ago that, I really wanted to be in this field, and, in entertainment. But, like I was stating before, what you had read, I wanted something that, like I said, people have fun watching. It was
Yeah.
interesting to them. I still wanted to be reality based, but I didn't want the things of people, jumping on tables, fighting, and all that. And nothing wrong with that. It's just not where I wanted to go with what
Right.
I did.
That Jerry Springer in Chicago, right?
Oh my God, yes. It's amazing to me that that show has been on for so many years.
Right. Just shows you people love turmoil. It's crazy, right?
And like I said, the shows I wanted to do, I wanted you to be able to take something away from it. I wanted my shows to kind of reflect me and my style, who I am, and also have a variety of different things. So that's why I started my streaming channel, um, where I took on the Thirsty Conversations. And some people may not know this, but I'm also a host on that show. Me and someone else. Her name's Kristen. She's also my co-host.
Yeah. And
And then
Kristen
I
couldn't
have.
join us, so been great to have her.
She was looking forward to it, but like I said, she wasn't able to make it.
Gotcha.
So like I said, we'll definitely get her on next time, though.
Yeah, definitely. Because you're gonna be a next time.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man, like I said, I apologize for laughing. My mind was going places it shouldn't be. You know, the quote about the mind is that it's own place. It can take you create a heaven of hell and a hell of heaven. And my mind just started going like, oh, he's trying to set me up for something funny here. I apologize, man.
No,
But
no, you know what? And actually, let me tell you the basis of that story.
all right,
Before I started Chase Your Dreams, about a year or two before that, I actually auditioned for another talk show that was going to go on Can TV.
okay,
So we only did one taping. It didn't come through. Um, it was, a lot of different things that the reason why I didn't go through. But I had a taste of it, and I'm like, wow, I really like it.
right,
So I actually talked to a couple of people about it, and the executive producer was like, well, why not? Go
okay,
ahead and do your show. And then I had someone else ask me, and this stuck with me to this day. A good friend of mine, her name is Leah.
uh-huh.
And Leah asked me, so, well, Lawrence, let me ask you, what's stopping you?
Mm, that's a great question.
I was like, if I have to be honest, it's me.
Yeah, that's
So
usually
it's
it,
like,
right?
hmm?
That's usually it, right?
Oh, yeah. And
Yeah,
the thing that I've learned over the years, Eric, is fear kills more dreams than anything else.
totally agree. Totally agree. It can
And
lead you to make up some excuses that you believe are reasons for not doing, huh?
yeah, and the worst thing to me is to go through life and just kind of wonder, wow, what if I tried this and tried that? And the one thing that people got to understand is you're never too old to try something new.
No, nope, not as long as you're breathing.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
You got who was it? Bush Senior, President Bush Senior was jumping out of a plane. I think was he 100 years old when he jumped out of the plane? Like, come
Hmm.
on, man. Yeah, keep living, do what you want to do. I love it.
That's a beautiful thing. I don't think I'll jump out of a plane, but that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm not really there yet. I have to admit, I've thought about it a few times. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. So talk to me, man. Tell me a little bit more about yourself. Talk to me about the challenges that you faced that have brought you to where you are right now. You talk about not getting the podcast show, but talk to me about what else has brought you here because aha moments are huge changers.
Hmm. I would say the main things is that one of the things that to me the pandemic did, and I think it did this for everyone, is it forced everyone, including myself, to stop, sit down, and look at your life and like, okay, do you want to keep doing this every day?
Yeah.
And it made you realize what's important. Because prior to the pandemic, everything was, especially when you live in the Midwest, everything's quick, 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 fast, 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 fast. You
Gotcha.
don't even get a chance to breathe. You're doing something, you gotta do this, gotta do that.
Just a
You were forced to
constant
sit
cycle,
down.
right? A grind.
Oh yeah, you were forced to sit down and just be with yourself, which a
Yeah.
lot of us don't do.
True. Very true. I so at the time of the pandemic, man, I had been working two jobs. And so it was great when I had an opportunity to slow down and
Hmm.
think, man. And it was beautiful because I got a chance to work on doing what I would love to do. And it hurt my heart, but I understand why. But it hurt my heart to hear people say they were glad to be back at work because they couldn't be at home by themselves. I'm like,
Hmm.
man,
Yeah.
and I felt like this, there's fear of doing things, but then there's that fear of being by yourself because now you have to answer those hard questions. Who am I? Why am I here? What do I want to do in life? Where do I want to go? And what have I been doing to get me into this place? So, ooh, it was tough for some people, man.
Oh yeah. And there's a realization. Like one of the things that I truly admire about the way the workplace is going, years ago, when you got a job and you kind of find out like 6 months afterwards that they, kind of lied to you about everything in the interview, you kind of stuck it out, you know.
Right.
But now, the thing is that when people get a job now and they find out they've been lied to, they're gone.
Yeah.
And I think
Oh,
that's a great thing because as an employee, you're supposed to be honest and, be trustworthy, above character. But
Right.
then it's like, when you're an employer, well, it don't matter.
Right.
Well, that's got to change a little bit.
We don't have to be. I need you to be, but we don't have to be. Which is a tough culture to work in, right?
Oh, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And
Yeah.
even with what I do, because I've learned a lot of pains in this. I enjoy what I do. I love it. I got some great things on the horizon that I'm gonna be working on.
Yeah.
But I did learn some things along the way as far as be your biggest cheerleader,
Yeah, I like that.
because there are, of course, there's people as close to you that do want to see you succeed. There's also a lot of people that will love to see you fail.
Right. Because they're jealous, right?
And it's a shame, but if you look, you'll see it, and you'll be
Yeah.
surprised at the people that do it to you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There are people who don't want to see you fail because they haven't done it yet. The fear of doing has stopped them. Man,
Hmm.
yeah, that's true. I like
Yeah.
to say, I like, you said, what was it, the quote you said?
Which one?
You said the
About,
one, the point that you made here, be your own.
oh, be your own cheerleader.
Be your own
Absolutely.
cheerleader. Yeah, I like to say be your own hype person because I,
Hmm.
I believe every great momentum shift has had a great hype person, and your momentum shift is just as great as any other one. So you got to hype yourself up. You got to keep yourself going. It's picking yourself up. How do you pick yourself up? Because I know there's so many different things that I like to do and use, but I like to hear how other people keep themselves going
Well,
when you talk about being your own hype man.
oh, sure. I mean, I think about what the end result is a lot of times, when I'm working on my projects, thinking about, I'm enjoying the journey as I do it.
Okay.
And then, there's also other things that keep me, uplifted as a person where, you know, even though we didn't make it to the playoffs, I'm a big Bears fan, you know.
Hey, I'm a Raiders fan. I understand your pain.
So, when that playing, obviously I watch the game, I'm all excited and everything. Then also, I'm kind of a big UFO buff. I love watching about UFO um, shows and
Okay.
different documentaries and stuff going on. So, and then I also like watching different documentaries, which
Yeah, I'm
I
into
do
that.
have some documentaries I'm gonna be doing on my channel pretty
Okay.
soon, hopefully. So, um, I basically, and probably the biggest thing is I love watching comedy. Like one of my favorite
We're
shows,
watching, what was it?
comedy.
Okay, yeah.
So like one of my favorite shows is King of Queens, and I probably watch each episode, excuse me,
He is
probably a
funny.
hundred times.
He is
But
funny.
you know, I'm serious when I work, and you're serious and you're taking care of business. So once I'm done with that, I want to laugh, I want to
Yeah,
have fun, I want to feel good.
yeah.
So excuse me, I like to watch stuff that makes me feel good. I like to laugh out loud. It's a
Okay.
great way to end the evening for me.
Yeah. Well, it lets go a lot of that stress, man. It keeps you in the right mood, man. It keeps you in the mood. And hey, it helps you look good, man. You look good. It keeps you young.
Yeah, and the thing is, you got to have a stress reliever. You really
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Are you feeling stuck, dreaming of a life beyond your current boundaries? I'm Sierra Collier, and I've been where you are. Now, as an international speaker, 3-time international best-selling co-author, veteran, and the host of the Momentum Shift podcast and radio show, I've dedicated my life to helping people just like yourself embark on a transformative journey to unlocking your inner greatness. With my wealth of experience and a proven track record, I guide individuals to break through barriers and create life-changing momentum shifts. Having been featured in news and magazine articles, on television shows, and spoken on stages like the National Press Club and Columbia University, my message has inspired people worldwide to turn the impossible into possible. On my show, the Momentum Shift podcast and radio show, I'm committed to sparking a movement that empowers others to shift momentum in their lives, offering motivational insights, interviews, and thought-provoking discussions. If you are ready to redefine what's possible and unlock your potential, then subscribe to my mailing list for exclusive content and updates. Join a community of motivated individuals just like yourself on the path to greatness. Subscribe now and transform your life at SierraCollier.com.
Yeah, I truly agree with that one, man. Yeah, it's amazing, man, how you look back. You ever look back to where you were and you go, how did I function? How did I operate like that?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I look back, I think about when I was a kid. I didn't have the best childhood, to
Okay.
be honest with you. It was pretty rough.
Yeah.
And I think about where I'm at now versus where I could be if I
Mm,
took different paths in life.
right.
And I just believe that God has always watched over me and kept me on the right path because based on what I went through, I could have easily went down a path that would have dramatically changed my life.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of times there's angels watching over you that keep you on the straight and narrow because you know when you're a teenager versus a 21-year-old versus a 50-year-old, you're different people. And a
Yeah.
lot of people don't understand it. As you get older, you literally are changing.
Oh yeah. You better.
Yeah.
You can get left behind. What did
Hopefully for the good though.
yeah.
Not for
Right. I like a quote by Muhammad Ali. He said, "If a man thinks the same way that he did when if a man thinks the same way at 50 that he did at 25, he's wasted 25 years of his life." And I think
Yes.
that's an important point that you brought up, man. You got to keep changing. You got to keep learning. It's when you stop learning, that's when you get stuck.
Mhm. Yeah. There's no such thing as I know everything. There's always something that you learn. Always
Right.
something that you learn.
Oh yeah. Every time you think you know everything, a wake up, you get a wake up moment, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's important, man. So when you look at how'd you go about transforming your mind to being so positive and focused on the future and continuously learning?
I think what you have to do is grow inside and learn to let a lot of things go.
Okay.
One of the most important things is forgiveness.
Okay.
And people got to understand when you forgive someone that's hurt you really bad, you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for you.
Got you.
Because what it does is it's like this overwhelming weight is lifted off your shoulders.
Yeah.
It allows you to move forward.
True. Well,
Because years ago I was in a very dark place,
okay.
and I had to forgive someone in order for me to move forward.
Hmm.
Because like I said, I had a lot of really really bad thoughts going through my head,
How
and
long
like
did it take you to do it? How many years were you holding on to it?
um I was well into my adulthood before I finally forgave that person.
Yeah. Yeah. So just curious because, it sticks in your craw, and I don't know, was it ego that keeps it there? It's like, oh, I'm not going to forgive that person. I'm gonna hold on to this. You know what I mean? Is it ego or is it just stubbornness or what is it?
Um, it all depends. I mean, mine was more
Hate?
embarrassment and hurt. I
Oh,
was I was physically and sexually abused as a child.
oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I got
And
you.
one of the big stigmas, especially in our community, is we don't talk about it, especially if you're a man.
Yeah. Don't you think that holds a lot of us back, man? Can't talk about it, can't go to a therapist. What goes on in our house stays in our house. That's a rough one, right?
Yeah. I mean, the other thing too is, and I'm glad things are changing now, but you know, no man, especially a black man, wants to feel weak. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
You don't want to feel weak to anybody. You want to feel strong all the time and
Yeah.
put on that toughness. I mean, as men, we could be walking through the depths of hell,
Yeah.
and person asks you, "Well, how you doing?" "I'm good,"
Right.
knowing deep inside it's not even remotely close.
Right. Yeah.
And like I said, I think things are getting better. Um, And one thing I would say to women out there is the worst thing you could say to a man, especially if he's going through something, is man up
Yeah,
or why you being weak,
right.
stuff like that. Because we know how to turn off like a light switch. Like, oh, you think I'm being weak? Okay, cool. We ain't got to
Yeah,
worry about having this conversation again.
right. Yeah. Now you shut down and no conversation at all, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
that's
What is it?
true.
Yeah, I think just worst man. If you were any type of man, ooh, man, that'll flip somebody off into a rage, especially if they have trauma already, right?
Hmm.
So you just basically pushing the button, the volcano button, waiting on that person to erupt. Yeah.
Hmm.
And that's something to think about too, man. How often does allowing somebody to push your buttons and them becoming a puppet master to you, right? How often does that keep you from really doing what you do? Because you can have a dream, you can have a goal, but someone pushing your buttons can cause you to pull back, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. And it's amazing how, and that's why when you hear critiques from someone, and hopefully this doesn't come out the wrong way,
Uh-huh.
you have to take a look at who the person is that's critiquing you.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is if this is a person that don't follow their own dream, they're always negative, they're always looking for the bad part or something like that,
Yeah.
and they tell you, well, why you waste your time on this? You probably really shouldn't be listening to that person because if they won't follow their own dreams and they're so negative, why even entertain what to me, you just say, okay, and just throw it out of your head, just keep moving.
Yeah. Yeah. How can that be your coach? Right? You know,
Exactly.
and the funny thing, man, and I say funny, but I mean funny weird, is that many people I know I would never let anybody tolerate anybody talking to my kids the way that adults talk to each other and
Mhm.
allow other adults to talk to them and hold them back from their dreams. I mean, if I heard somebody telling my child or my grandson or granddaughter that it was impossible for them to do this and they shouldn't focus on it, I'd shut them down real quick. But as adults, we don't do that, man. Why do you think that is?
I don't know, because that's a great question. Because I know with me, I don't like hearing, well, I can't or I wish and stuff like that.
Yeah,
To me, if you want something, just say, how can I get that?
there we
What do
go.
I need to do to get that? By doing that, it changes your thought process.
Yeah,
And to me, if you say, well, I'll never be able to do this, you're right. You 100% will never be able to do it.
that's
But if
right.
you say, you know what, I wonder how can I get this done?
Yeah,
It may not be a guarantee, but guess what? You got a shot at getting that done.
yeah,
All in the
true.
mindset.
Yeah. Well, my mom used to say, if you say you can, you say you can't. You're right. You're right. Yeah. Mindset is so much. I mean, that's basically what we're pointing out here. If you want to get something in life, you got to change your mindset. I think the best way to look at it is if you want to do something you've never done, you have to have a mindset or create a mindset that you've never had. And that's
Hmm.
an important thing to think about, man. So many things that you want to do, it's the things that you have never accomplished. You never tried it. It's new to you. So you
Hmm.
can't attack it with the same old mindset that you had from before. Wouldn't you agree?
And the thing is, I remember hearing Mark Cuban,
Okay.
because I like watching their show Shark Tank.
Yeah.
And I remember he was being interviewed and he said something that I love. He's like, you can fail as many times as you want. You only need to be successful once.
There it is. Yeah.
And one thing I like about Mark Cuban, he's not he's not this rich kid that inherited anything. He's a self-made billionaire.
Right.
And the thing is like, people really understood how rough it was when I started. You got to put your time in. It takes work. It
Yeah.
doesn't happen overnight. And if you're not willing to put in the work, then don't even try.
Yeah. And I think something too, man, just sitting here thinking about what you talked about earlier, the things that you were going through and holding on. And I'm thinking about my whole journey as well. You're going through it and you're doing it while you're, like you said, healing, right? You're not waiting until, well, when I get through with the healing, when I get everything right, then I'm going to start doing it. You're not doing that. You're going through it and doing them both, right? You can't
Hmm.
wait around because it'll never be the right time.
Now, you know what's interesting with what you just said? You'll hear people say, well, this is not the right time to start a business. It's not the right time to do this and do that.
Yeah,
Well, here's the sad reality: there is no right time.
right.
You just got to go out there and do it.
Yeah,
Are you going to
yeah,
make mistakes along the way? Of course.
yeah,
You learn from the mistakes and move on.
yeah. I
Um,
mean, to touch on that part, I
mhm,
remember I was listening to well actually I attended one of Grant Cardone's virtual events, and I
mm,
love what he said during COVID. He said when everybody else is shutting it down, you need to be expanding. And I think that's such a huge point to remember, right? Because COVID was a great opportunity to really work on yourself, create a business, learn those skills that you've always wanted to learn, and reposition yourself. But so many people, when the world shut down, they were like, yes, let's shut down. Let's go get our beer. Let's go get our alcohol, watch TV, all these different, you know what I mean? And they missed out on a great opportunity to set themselves up for the long haul.
yeah. I mean, the one thing that I love is being able to find what I really love doing.
Yeah,
One of my big goals is to, what my streaming channel is, I have a new company that I'm using to host the channel, and it's going to be a lot more robust, a lot more friendly, and stuff like that.
yeah,
So, I'm working hard on getting that to the point to where it's profitable, to where that takes over my daytime job, and I'm
yeah,
able to add um, more products. And I'm human just like anyone else. I've had points, where I looked at it's like, wow, can I should I keep doing this? It's like I'm beating
right.
my head against the wall.
Yeah,
Every so often I'll have someone say how they really love my show, I love what you're doing. And it's almost like a little whisper just saying, don't give up. Don't
exactly,
stop. You know.
exactly. So do you have a mantra?
Do I have a sponsor?
A mantra, a life
Oh,
mantra that you use that you kind of remind yourself?
um, my thing is I always tell myself um to keep going forward.
Yeah,
Keep moving forward and don't let distractions hold me back.
yeah,
Because, my biggest thing over the years, especially when trying to do something, is that fear of failure.
yeah,
To me, that's been my biggest Achilles heel up to this point.
yeah,
And I realized at some point I had to overcome that
yeah.
because that fear of failure is strong,
Right.
especially when, I have a wife, I have a son. So it's like, okay, if I'm not making sure that's taken care of, then I'm not handling my responsibilities,
Yeah,
but I do want to do this as well too. And sometimes you just gotta push that to the sides. Okay, figure out how to make it happen.
yeah. Oh, definitely. I agree with that one. Figure it out how to make it happen. I like that. Yeah. So when you look at it, you mentioned earlier you find it you love to do what you love to do, right? You try to find ways to do what you love to do. Why do you do what you do? What's the driver there?
I would say the driving force is to be able to entertain people
Okay.
and have people enjoy something. And I really enjoy the reality based type programming. The
Okay.
talk shows, the podcasts, arts and crafts, cooking show that I'll be bringing on, my documentaries that I want to be starting pretty soon.
Okay.
And I want to bring entertainment, like I said, it's fun, something you can laugh at.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you address those serious issues as well. So you have a balance of, not getting away from reality either,
Yeah.
but also being able to pass knowledge on. And I wanted to pass that knowledge along in an entertainment format as opposed to, let's say, drilling into your head about this and that, but having you enjoy watching my programming. And then you sit back and go, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
If I could get you to do that, then I think I accomplished my goal.
Yeah. Education through laughter. I like that.
Hmm.
Yeah. 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 I like it, man. That's good. But you like you said, That's it's something. It's another way to learn, right? You don't have to
Hmm.
always beat it into their heads. So
Exactly.
yeah. So I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, I think it's important, like you said, find something that you love to do and do it on a daily basis. And it's not work, right?
That's true. That's
It's
very
work
true.
involved, but it's totally different.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, especially on what we do, it's like you want to be profitable so you can grow
yeah,
and expand your projects. So this way you're making more money, not to try and be, Mr. Baller, but to
yeah,
bring more programming and bring better quality of what you're doing.
yeah.
But you need money to do that. So it's almost like the chicken and the egg situation.
Right, right.
That's where that creativity comes in.
Yeah. And speaking of which, I want to highlight Thirsty Conversations because you and Kristen do such a great job on that.
Thank you.
I want to talk to us about how that show came about and what it is you're really doing with Thirsty Conversations because I love the name Thirsty Conversations. So talk to us there.
Oh, sure, sure. Now, Thirsty Conversations were actually born out of Chase Your Dreams. Chase
Okay.
Your Dreams was the first show that I had on.
Right.
And with Chase Your Dreams, we talked about different stuff. Then we had someone come in to talk about either physical or mental health. And then we brought in um, people that do music. It could be people that are undiscovered or maybe people that people don't know about that's been out for a while. So we highlight those three main areas.
Okay.
Well, once I tried to trademark that name, Chase Your Dreams, I found out that someone
Mm,
already had it.
got you. Yeah.
So I had to make a
Les
business
Brown,
decision.
maybe.
And my lawyer literally told me, the problem is on the good part, it's growing,
Yeah.
but there's going to be a time where you're going to have some legal issues with that name. You're better off changing it now.
Yeah, 'cause I think Les Brown's book was Chase Your Dreams.
So, that kind of stung because I even had a custom, song made for it and everything.
Okay.
But, I went on ahead and changed it. But when I changed
Yeah.
the format, changed the name of it, I decided to still have guests on there, interesting guests like yourself and other people on there, talking about various different things. But I wanted to make it a little bit more open because I know with
Yeah.
Chase Your Dreams, we really did highlight a lot on careers that you don't need a 4-year degree on.
Got you.
So we still are going to do that from time to time, but we're opening up the gamut of what we talk about.
Yeah.
We came up, I came up with the name Thirsty Conversations, and it was interesting because I had some people say, "Well, you know what thirsty means, right?" So what do you mean? And my mind is not in the gutter.
Got
So,
you. All
so
right.
I'm like, okay. I think when they watch the show, they'll realize it's not that kind of show.
Right. I'm thinking about drinking while you when I first heard it, I thought they were drinking while you had to, you know what I mean? That was like a
uh,
show where you having a drink and you having a conversation. That's all I was thinking.
See, you and me alike because I didn't think that other thing either. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I was like looking at this person like, should I watch you a little bit now?
Right. Whatever you do, don't give me your phone. I don't want to see anything.
But what was cool about it was I like the word thirsty because it's the thirst for knowledge. You're
Yeah.
thirsty for something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I really liked it. And I've had a lot of people say they really love the name.
Yeah. I think it's great, man. Like I
Hmm.
said, and then like I said, you get on there and you have a really good time because the two of you ask some great questions and we have
Oh,
some
thank you.
great conversation.
And the thing I love about working with Kristen is um, we have a great chemistry.
Yeah,
Because one thing about it, when you're watching a program and it's a program with two or more people on there, that chemistry is so important.
yeah,
Because if that chemistry ain't right, the camera sees it. The camera
yeah,
sees a lot more than people think they do.
right.
So, Kristen has been with me from the start. She was actually with me when I started Chase Your Dreams,
Okay.
and then stayed with me as I moved on to Thirsty Conversations.
And that's cool. Like you said, that chemistry. So do either you have coaching backgrounds or anything like that, or
You just go ahead and do it.
No, neither one of us has coaching backgrounds. I know Kristen has acting,
Okay.
because Kristen's actually been in some movies, and I think she's done some commercials and stuff too.
Yeah.
And I think she's also directed, I think, a play or two as well.
Okay.
So
Oh,
yeah,
cool
she's
deal.
definitely been in front of the camera
Yeah,
quite
yeah.
a bit more than I have.
That's cool, man. That's good to have somebody with that knowledge.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I like it. What so what do you got coming up? I don't know you talked about, we talked about you changing your network, but what you got coming up?
Basically, like I said, we're going to be on a better platform to be able to give better quality of what we do on our channel.
Yeah.
This year, I am going to be doing another arts and crafts.
Are you feeling stuck, dreaming of a life beyond your current boundaries? I'm Eric Collier, and I've been where you are. Now, as an international speaker, 3-time international best-selling co-author, veteran, and the host of the Momentum Shift podcast and radio show, I've dedicated my life to helping people just like yourself embark on a transformative journey to unlocking your inner greatness. With my wealth of experience and a proven track record, I guide individuals to break through barriers and create life-changing momentum shifts. Having been featured in news and magazine articles, on television shows, and spoken on stages like the National Press Club and Columbia University, my message has inspired people worldwide to turn the impossible into possible. On my show, the Momentum Shift podcast and radio show, I'm committed to sparking a movement that empowers others to shift momentum in their lives, offering motivational insights, interviews, and thought-provoking discussions. If you are ready to redefine what's possible and unlock your potential, then subscribe to my mailing list for exclusive content and updates. Join a community of motivated individuals just like yourself on the path to greatness. Subscribe now and transform your life at SierraCollier.com.
It's going to be a different name, a different show that's on there now. I'm going to be putting a cooking show on there.
Okay.
And then also documentaries I want to start doing. There's a documentary I want to do about my family history because I have a very interesting family history myself where it would be, from my grandfather's side of family, my grandmother's side of family, and then also, you know, bringing in my birth father, which I've never met.
Okay. Yeah, that was wow. You ready for that?
You know what? I am.
Yeah.
I am. You know,
Okay.
over the years, I've heard different stories, and it's about time to get to the base of what's really going on.
Got you.
And I would love to know how I came to be, what stories that I'm not sure of. You
Got you.
know,
Yeah.
it's a little bit nervous because you don't know what you're gonna find when you start turning over those rocks.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously, Pandora's box will be open. I don't know if I'm
Right.
blowing the hinges off of it or just
Yeah.
open it, but I'll find
Yeah.
out.
Hey, it's all good. I think
Yeah,
so. So I have to ask a question because I
sure.
run into young men who haven't had their father at all in their life, and I've heard them as fathers and as husbands say, "I don't know how to do this. I've never done it before." Was that a difficult challenge for you,
Um, it,
or
it's it.
let me before you answer that,
Mhm.
or was it a bigger driver for you to make sure it was the way that you wanted it, the way that you wanted it when you were a kid? You know what I'm saying?
I would say for me, it was about finding the truth
Okay.
because I've been told so many different contradictory things over the years.
Yeah.
I would say the other thing too is, you know, finding those pieces to put together because there's a lot of mystery and there's all kinds of stuff about families because one of my goals is I do want to make a movie,
Yeah.
um, kind of loosely based on me and my
Yeah.
family,
Right.
um, basically about healing.
Yeah. Okay.
One thing about family is extremely complicated,
Yeah.
and
Everybody has their own views, right?
oh yeah, and the thing is that we all have those relatives we love,
Yeah.
and you also have those relatives that you're glad you only see once a year, if that. So whether you want to claim them or not, we all have them.
Right. But so no, so but maybe my question was a little. I kind of get scattered sometime. But my question, so as a father and as a
Mhm.
husband, growing up without knowing who your father was or seeing having a man, I don't know if you had a man in the house or not, but just not having your father around, was it difficult for you to be a father and be a husband? Or were you saying to yourself things like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know what it's supposed to be like. You know what I mean?
Actually, weirdly enough, because obviously being a parent is a challenging thing for anyone.
Yeah.
But
There's no, I don't care how many people say they wrote a book, and that don't work.
oh yeah, I mean, for me, um, I gotta admit that you know I was probably a little bit much more protective over my child than average because of what I went through.
Yeah.
Um, and basically, I wanted to be the father to him that I never had for myself.
Yeah, so that's what I was getting at. Was it a driver for you not having
Hmm.
him around? It's like, oh, it's not happening. That's what I was. My dad. My parents split when I was 4, and we still see my dad. He's still in our lives. But
Hmm.
that's one of the things I told my son when he was born. I mean, you never have to worry about another man in this house taking care of you ever because I'm your dad. And so that
Hmm.
was a driver for me to be around my family and make sure I created a family environment. So yeah, that's what I was kind of getting at.
Yeah, and the other thing too is I think it's so important to break those generational curses.
Yeah,
Growing up, people didn't say I love you.
right.
It wasn't a thing.
Yeah,
And I wanted my son to know, not think or not believe,
right.
know his dad loves him because I tell him that all the time. I want
There
him
we
to
go.
know that.
Yeah.
You know, I hear people saying, well, especially older people say, well, your children should fear you. I don't agree with that. You know, my
At
son
at
should
times when they need
respect
to.
me. He needs to respect me, but I don't want him to be scared of me. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. Oh yeah.
And
Totally understand.
I mean, yeah, obviously, if they get in trouble, they're gonna be scared. It's just
Right.
natural. But
Yeah, yeah.
but I'm not.
Got to pay the cost to be the boss, as my mom say.
Yeah, and like I said, I love my son to death. He know I loves him, and I told my son when he was younger too. You can talk to me about anything,
Yeah,
and just understand I am not your friend. I'm your
yeah.
dad.
There we go. There you go. We
Because there's a lot of people that want to be their kid's friend.
right. Don't call them on the table. Don't call them on the. Don't call them out on what they do.
Hmm.
Coddle them and just let them run all over them. And we're not
Hmm.
having that. None of that.
Hmm. Yeah, because
So
then you're gonna raise someone to poke their chest out at you one day.
right, right. Yeah, and that's the worst thing to see your child just not acting like they have sense. So to me, I'm like, nah, I'm gonna teach you, and I understand. I teach you at home, but when you go out there, you got a decision to make. I get that. They may or may not make the right decision, but you can't beat them up for it. You just come back, teach the lesson, and you keep
Hmm.
moving forward. So let me ask you, we get, man, our time always runs fast, man. It always goes by so quick, man. But what would you like to lead the audience with?
I would like to leave the audience with a couple of things. Um, One little cheap promotion. Please go to ElrodTVNetwork.com. You can
Yes,
try us free for a few days before you do anything, but I think you'll love it. Help support, minority-owned business.
there we go.
And I think on a serious note, the second thing is that when you have a dream or you have something that you want to do, don't let anyone stop it.
Yeah,
And a lot of times you may look at something and go, "Wow, that's unattainable. You can't do that." Change the way you think, because if you start saying to yourself, "Well, how can I get here?" And just to give a little cheat sheet, if you don't know how to do it, think about the end result and work backwards.
there we go.
Because once you know where you want to end up at, and you start looking backwards, you'll be surprised at how some of those blanks are filled in.
Yeah,
Now, I'm not saying you're going to have all the answers, but to actually take that first step is 50% of the journey right there.
That's it, man. All you gotta do is get started. Start getting some
Mhm.
wins under your belt. It'll get addicted to you.
That's right. That's right. And once you start, you'll be like, oh, that wasn't so hard.
Yeah, exactly. So where can they connect with you?
There's a couple of ways they can do it. I mean, you can reach out, follow us on social media. ElrodTV Network is on Facebook.
All right.
We're on TikTok. We're also on Instagram, and we're also on YouTube. You can also go check out my channel, which is ElrodTVNetwork.com.
There we go.
And like I said, enjoy the programming. I know that we've been doing some YouTube lives that we're going to start back in about a week or two.
Okay.
So you can watch that, and then the lives are saved. So check us out, follow us, and also give some feedback. If there's something you want to see on my channel,
Yeah.
or maybe there's someone that we should be talking about, maybe collaborating with to put some on the channel. We're pretty much open.
Yeah.
And
And
like I said,
definitely go ahead, I'm
I
sorry.
I think that especially as minorities,
Mhm.
we need to do a better job of supporting each other.
Yeah. Big key. Big key.
Hmm.
Big key, man. It's all about supporting one another, man. And I just like to see each other win, man. I don't care who it is. I just want to see
Yep.
people win, and
Hmm.
I want to see them be successful at whatever it is they want to do. And that's why, man, I support Elrod TV Network. I love what y'all do, man. Big fan. It always runs quick here when we come together. But yeah, go to ElrodTVNetwork.com. I'll check out our episode.
Oh yeah, and like I said, I've been checking out. Once you told me that I could watch for free, how to see yours. I've been actually checking out yours as well too, and
Thank you.
I love what you're doing. And my things like this, because you got some people that look at people and be all, oh, that person think this and jealous. Me personally, I love to see people succeed, because when I see you succeed, then I'm like, okay, cool. Let me see what he doing. Let me see if I can emulate some of that.
There
That's
you
how I
go,
look at
man.
it.
There it is, man. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the momentum shift, man. That's what it's about right there. The aha moments, doing what you love and helping other people do the same, man. So, hey, Lawrence, man, thank you for joining me, man. You truly are a momentum shifter. As always, I
Thank you.
have a great time talking with you, man. It's
Same
just
here.
so cool. You're so cool, calm, and collected, man. I just enjoy having that conversation with you, man. So hopefully Kristen gets better, man. We'd love to have her back. The two of you back again. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the Momentum Shift podcast and radio show this week. I want to thank you for joining me. As always, get out there, take action, replay this show, take some notes, and then take action and start changing your life. Until next week, take care.
Ever feel like you're just missing that extra touch of warmth and comfort at the end of a long day? Or perhaps you've noticed your little one struggling to find calm before nap time. Well, we've got something special for you. Introducing the Cozies line from Sensory Product Design. It's the only blanket designed with your extremities in mind, ensuring a whole body hug that's simply unparalleled. Crafted from the finest microfiber fleece, Sensory Product Design's Cozy Throwsies for adults and Cozy Cozies for kids aren't just blankets, they're a sanctuary. Envision the soothing comfort of an adult swaddle, gently easing your mind and body into a state of tranquility. Whether it's you seeking solace after a hectic day or your child in need of a peaceful moment, Sensory Product Design's blankets provide more than just warmth. They embrace you in a sense of security, understanding, and the familiar love of home. With Sensory Product Design, they're not just designing products, they're crafting experiences that soothe your senses, touch your soul, and bring peace to your hectic world. Whether it's the comforting embrace of the Cozy Throwsy or the gentle caress of the Cozy Cozy for the little ones, they're here to make every moment at home feel like that heartfelt hug you've always wanted. Don't wait to transform your home into a heaven of warmth and tranquility. Visit Sensory Product Designs now to discover how Cozy's line can change the way you and your family experience comfort. Because at Sensory Product Design, they believe in the power of cozy embrace to make everything right in the world.
Because I'm somebody who believes that the largest gap an individual will face is the gap that stands between where they are now and what they could become. So the question becomes, are you willing to climb? The greatest trick the mind will ever pull is convincing you that your greatness does not exist. Mama used to say, she said, Eric, what you do in the dark will come out in the light. And she means that you reap what you sow. You get what you put in. And so you got to put the work in. Why? Because you're going to step your game up and tap into that untapped potential of yours and become the greatest person that you can possibly become. I woke up, I was about to lose everything. And so my wife was about to leave me, and that meant my 3 children were going to be gone, which really hurt me because I would fall short on a promise to my kids where I told them that I was their father. Nobody would ever be in their house taking care of them. Nobody would be responsible for them. They never had to worry about calling anybody daddy but me. Momentum shift. When you get stuck, you got to find a way to get going. And that is all about elevating your performance. You have to realize that high-level results are not products of low-level effort. So you got to step your game up. So you get stuck, you got to get yourself moving. And when you're down in the dumps, you're the only one that's going to be there. So you got to be your own hype man. What happens is when you don't realize that you have all that you ever need to create the life that you want to live, you're missing out. You're standing at the base of that mountain thinking and hoping somebody's going to save you when all you got to do is take action. Theodore Roosevelt said, he said that the credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena with their face marred in dust with sweat and blood. You've got to get in the arena, claim your moment, take the opportunity to take your shot. Then when you're in that arena, think about this. I got to step my game up.
Eric's message was extremely powerful.
The power of overcoming is not just connected to you. You're rising because the people behind you are counting on you. Thank you. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you for joining The Momentum Shift, a show bringing you interviews and stories of incredible people to help you get inspired, get moving, and get results to ultimately create the life-changing momentum shift that will improve your life. Join host Eric Collier, the mayor of motivation and mental quicksand expert, every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern for The Momentum Shift, the show and change you've been looking for.